Welcome, everybody, to the last Masterclass Orlando ever, session number 50. Can y'all give yourselves a round of applause just for being here? And you know, we've been doing this thing for 5 years now. Traffic getting downtown has gotten 5 times as difficult. Would you guys agree? So those of you that are watching on Zoom, we appreciate you still joining us. Those of you watching the replay on YouTube or wherever you see it later, thanks for joining in. We're going to kick this thing off with our sponsors. Let's do this real quick. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. If you can hear me, turn to the people next to you and just go shh on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Shh. All right. Welcome, everybody, and thank you. By the way, that's how you quiet down a room full of real estate agents. For the record, we got it on camera. So, welcome. Seriously, thank you all for coming to Masterclass Orlando. My name's Aaron Ludin with Orlando Real Producers. We've been running this thing, like I said, for 5 years now. And just to kind of give you an idea of why. About 5.5 years ago, we just realized there weren't a lot of places where agents could hear from the best of the best with no ulterior motives, no ulterior agenda, no recruiting, nothing to pitch, nothing to sell you, no political or board or organization affiliation or anything like that. So we've been running these private parties for the top 500 agents for 6 years now and a monthly magazine. And what would happen is agents that are like working their asses off but might be right outside our list would be like, how do I get an invite to the party, or how do I join your group? And we'd be like, go somewhere next year, you know? And that didn't feel good. So what we realized is we needed to build a bridge. So the whole point of this program is to put agents that rank in the top 500 in Orlando or do even more outside Orlando. We got some guests here. Can y'all give it up for the guests, by the way? They came pretty far. The point was just to stick them on a stage and grill them with questions about what they're actually doing that's actually working in the trenches, not philosophy, not coaching, not anything like that. And with no ulterior motive or agenda. So we've been doing this now for 5 years. This is session number 50. We started it just up the street and had a World Cup conflict and literally carried our stage over here. Loved Harry Buffalo so much that we never left. So can we give it up to Harry Buffalo for hosting us probably 35 or 38 times? We did like 11 of these virtually, 2 elsewhere. But the best way you could say thank you is just to stick around and grab lunch. If you can't stick around and grab lunch, like seriously, just leave a small tip or something on the bar for the bartenders. They don't have to be here this early. They come here an hour and a half early just so we can talk about real estate stuff. So can we give one more round of applause to Harry Buffalo's staff for doing this every month? And for those of you who don't already follow Orlando Real Producers, I know we got some guests coming from pretty far away. What's up, y'all? Make sure you're following Orlando Real Producers. We got real producers probably in your market by now, too, if you're from somewhere else. So anyway, we've got about 80 advertising partners that are personally referred by other top 500 agents. These literally represent the best of the best affiliates. Those are the only affiliates that should be in the room. If you're hearing me and you're not one of those people, you can sneak out of the room in a few minutes. Otherwise, can we raise your hand if you're one of our preferred partners? Could you all raise your hand? Guys, take a look at all the beautiful people with their hands up. Make sure that you meet them. They're the best of the best. We've got about, 10 or 15 that helped make today happen. I'm going to let a few of them jump up and just have a minute to explain what they do. And it's not long enough, so make sure you shout them out on social, follow them, connect with them after. So let's give it up. Let's bring up the next one. There used to be screens that would show me, so hopefully I won't screw it up. But we'll start with Giselle with Fidelity National Title. Go.
I'm like, let's break the ice here. How's everyone doing this morning? So I am Giselle Fernandez. They call me that tall title girl. And officially, I've been working for Fidelity for about 2 years now. I absolutely love this company, and we say that we are Fidelity family, and quite frankly, there is a reason for that. We literally have first and second generation people that work for our association, which is pretty amazing. So we have people with 20, 30 years experience that are processing and dealing with your title work. So during a market that's kind of complicated right now, don't you want to have people on your team that know exactly what they're doing with the level of experience that we do? So we're tried, true, trusted, and I absolutely, if I were you, would want, the right people on your team to get you guys to the closing table. So that's kind of all for us, but I have team members in the house today, Fidelity family representing, and Giselle.title on Instagram.
All right.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is David Buckles. I'm the owner of Reliant Home Offer, and we are a local real estate investment company who specializes in fix and flips and creative finance. So we buy about 3 to 4 houses a month, and we're actually buying 3 more right now at the end of the month. Regardless of these rates, regardless of this market, regardless of that, our investors are hungry and we're actively buying. So if you have those ugly fixer-uppers, investor specials, those are the ones that we want to make an offer on with you guys. And if you guys work with investors and you're looking for off-market opportunities, we have those for you as well. So agents, I'd love to connect with you. David Buckles on Instagram. Have a great morning.
All right.
All right, guys. Ryan Plaza, account executive at Home First Lending. We have every shiny marketing product. We do every single loan in the book. But I think most importantly right now, we're rolling up our sleeves and helping our agents convert because every single lead matters, especially in this season. So if you're looking to convert, go ahead and meet me afterwards. I'm excited to help you out. Take care. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Taylor Gorkin. I'm here with the staging company. In this changing market, we are here to support the agents. So whatever you guys need for home staging, interior decorating, short-term rental decorating, Tammy and I would love to talk to you.
I keep saying for short people, this is a tall stage. Hey, everybody. Heather Hurry, Pillar to Post, the Jeff Mackey team in the house, Home Inspections Company. So today, I thank you. So today, I actually don't want to say anything about me, nothing about us. I just want to make this about you. And you know what's coming up next week? What is it? Okay, so everybody think about one thing you're grateful for. I can tell you there's 2 things I'm grateful for in here, probably a lot more, but since I'm on stage, I'm a little nervous. So it would be agents in the house, brokerages in the house, partnerships in the house, and Aaron Luden. So everybody, in behalf of Aaron, let's do a 1, 2, 3 clap, shall we? 1, 2, 3. All right, you guys have a good last 50th masterclass, all right?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Bell, and I'm a partner with Harding Bell International. We are a CPA firm, which is kind of a nasty thing, taxes and stuff like that. Anyways.
Oh, there might be a secret on the screen. Sorry, Steve.
What's that?
There's a secret on the screen, so that's probably what distracted people.
No worries. Anyway, so we are a full-service CPA firm. We specialize in working with you guys, real estate agents, property managers, investors, specifically foreign investors. We do a ton of FERPTA, and we have 4 holidays coming up soon. We have Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and tax season. So you need to make sure these 4 people that are going to be on the stage today, I can guarantee you they have great tax accountant CPAs, and I implore you, you're leaving a ton of money to the IRS if you don't have a good CPA, so please find a good one. If you don't have one, call me. Thanks. Have a great day.
No, there we go. Do that one. Celebration Title Group. If you don't know us, we really pride ourselves in providing an amazing experience for your clients all throughout the closing experience and at the closing table especially. But we are so much more than a title company. We really pride ourselves in spending time with you, getting to know your whys, and really getting to understand your business and seeing how we could be a partner. So if you haven't spent some time with us, if you don't already work with us, spend time with me, Louis, who's back there, Jen Cherise, Beatrice, who I saw here. There's plenty of us here, but please spend 10, 15 minutes with us in the next week or 2 and see how we could be a partner for you in 2023. Again, David Quinones, Celebration Title Group, and have a great masterclass.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Jeff Velez, Old Republic. I'm here with Cameron Foster, who's hiding out over there. You ever hear that saying, what's old is new? Things come back in style. Well, guess what? Home warranties are back in style. As we come down off the crazy, sugar high market of the past couple of years where no one asked for concessions, it's time to start helping your clients again. And I'm happy to say that I've got some great partners that are here today. So Todd's a partner speaking today. Craig Wilburn, longtime partner up in Gainesville. Over the past 5 years, we've paid almost $50,000 in claims just in his office for his clients. With Todd, you ever do business with us, you get these little service cards. Here's one of Todd's clients. We fixed his pool, garage door, $1,100. Total services rendered to date, $6,700. So help us help your clients. Old Republic Home Protection, Jeff Velez. Thank you.
Good morning, Vic DeVore here, CEO and founder of DeVore Design. And instead of promoting DeVore Design, we do photos, video, and home staging, seeing a big uptick in home staging services, by the way, to freshen up those stale listings. But I want to just say thank you to Aaron. So this is the end of this particular session, this series of Masterclass. Obviously, there's something else coming. But over 10,000 real estate agents have come through this room over the past 5 years. And the sponsors that you saw up on this stage, including myself, most of us have sponsored this from the very beginning. If there's one reason that I can compel you to do business with any of us, it's that we are here to support you. Aaron built this platform for us to help support you, and that's what we are doing. And I hope that you guys will return that and giving all of us an opportunity. Something, ooh, listen to that. My volume got turned up. That doesn't usually happen. I want to take a selfie with everybody, and please, let's give an awesome round of applause to Aaron Luden for doing everything that he's done. 10,000 agents. Come down here, Aaron. I want you in this. Over 10,000 agents. Thank you, Aaron. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, you ready to bring us home? Samantha.
Well, thank you very much. What he said, right? I don't know about you guys, but I think everybody cut their 60 minutes short, so I probably have about 5 minutes to talk. I'm just kidding. So I'm Samantha. I am with Home Team Mortgage. I am Business Development Manager. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you are missing out, Samantha_Home Loans. I always try to have a different topic today, but I honestly just wanted to recap everything that we have to offer you guys, traditional, your non-QM products, our lock and shop program where they can lock their interest rate for 90 days, our 21 guarantee program. We currently are offering a seller credit for those sellers with their listing. If they're looking to purchase another house, we're giving them a credit. If they don't want to use it because they have so much money, right, they can always offer it to their buyer. So Home Team Mortgage here, we are here for you guys, and I look forward to connecting with you guys after here. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good catch, Craig. Anybody here ready to learn something? If you are, make some noise. All right, so we accidentally are giving the secret away prematurely, so I'll just comment on it now. If you happen to see a slide, that it will not have a working website to sign up for what we're doing next, but you will see the dates of what we're rolling out next. You won't see the format, but you'll see the location and the dates of Mastermind 407, which is subject to change names, but that's what we're rolling out next year. So for those of you asking and for those of you texting me like, hey, that website didn't work, I can't take that slide down, you're going to keep seeing it, and I figure, now you know, that's where we're going. We're moving to the Enzion Theater. Is anyone excited about that? So we've got a couple other changes, but we'll talk about those in the future. Let's bring up our panelists. Y'all ready? Yeah. All right, let's bring up the guy that I was going to say sitting the closest, but he's not. So that's the tallest and closest. Todd Schroth spent the last 20 years vested in Orlando real estate. He is the founder of the Todd Schroth home selling team, brokered by EXP. He has sold over 2,000 homes in the last 20 years. And him and his team have closed about 155 transactions so far this year. They're on track to close over $60 million in volume. And this is pretty much his story each and every year, because Todd is ranked in the top 25 ever since I started ranking a top 25 back in 2016. He's been on our stage probably 4 or 5 times and always brings it. And I'm excited to have him for the last masterclass ever. Could we give a giant round of applause for Todd Schroth? All right. David Kurz probably came the farthest today, so we got to give him a round of applause. And we did have Veterans Day a week ago or so can we give him a thank you? All right, Dave's been in the real estate industry for over 17 years now with over $750 million in sales, over 2,500 homes sold. He's built teams, he's done it individually, he's built his own boutique brokerage, he's rolled them into a new company. Is there anyone here from LPT? I'm pretty sure they came with a bus. Thank you guys for coming out. By the way, when someone says like, wow, there are a lot of them, you should have brought your friends if you're somewhere else. Like, duh. So, David and his team currently run an expansion team. They're in Miami, they're in Northern Virginia. In 2 states, they have 17 agents and have reached about $130 million over the last 12 months. This isn't in his bio. Actually, I'll read the rest of his bio first. So he's published 2 books, The Blueprint and Take Action. He's currently working on a 3rd one. He's the president of the Freedom Organization Coaching. He does free coaching, weekly Zoom sessions for agents, things like that. He's looking to break the $200 million mark with his team this year. I read that out of order. But here's what I think is cool. I still remember, it was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I called David when I was selling closing gifts, so it had to be like 7, 8 years ago. And I was like, hey man, how's the year going? And David was at 130 million or so, and it was March. Some of y'all didn't even catch how crazy that was. I did that a little too fast. By March, I was like, yeah, it's going to be a big year for him. Let's go to Craig Wilburn. Craig is the president and chief people impactor for Team Dynamo, Keller Williams Realty. It doesn't say this in his bio, but I'm pretty sure he is the #1 agent in the Gainesville area, probably by a lot. He's been selling in Gainesville and the surrounding counties for over 20 years. Began in real estate in 2002. His first full year, he served over 55 customers in his first year, which is pretty insane. 2004, he found out about Teen Concept, opened his team. 18 years later, they've sold over $600 million, 2,500 homeowners, and they earned the title of Gainesville's #1 People's Choice for real estate by the communities that they serve. Can we give a giant round of applause to Craig Wilburn? And last but certainly not least, another regular on our stage. In fact, I think she's always paired with Todd for some strange reason. That's just how things have worked out. It wasn't intentional. But Abby Nelson. The Abby Nelson Group is one of the premier real estate teams in Central Florida, also always ranking the top 25 agents in Greater Orlando, in the whole surrounding area. Abby's excellence has given her a steady referral source. Many of her repeat clients dated back in 2004. They closed over $60 million last year. They're looking to grow that this year. And this isn't in her bio, but I know that she sold over $420-something million in her career and 1,300 plus homes. Can we give a giant round of applause to Abby Nelson, repping for the ladies? By the way, for those of you that are complaining that there aren't enough women on this panel, you should have come last month. It was only women. So just throwing that out there before I get the complaints. It was an awesome panel. Let's start with this, because I'm going to jump around on you guys a lot. I'm going to go deep. I'm going to try to cut out the fluff. Let's talk about your current business models today. I want to hear each of you what you're like. Give us a quick snapshot of your business, your immediate business more than, but tell us about like your business and your team and the roles that you have.
You want to know the structure of what our business is, the lead gen that we're doing, or just the team itself?
I was saying the team, but if you want to talk about how you generate your leads, let's do that too. I think that's useful. We might as well go through all of it.
You know, we're 4 support people in the office, and then we've got a couple VAs helping. Each one of them actually has a VA. So we've got a lot of support in the team. We've got 14 agents. We've run in every bit of lead gen that we can, from Facebook to Google to LSA to open houses. Anything you do, we're always going to try. So I'm not afraid to spend money on something, because if it's going to generate money back to us, we're going to keep doing it. And we've got agents with us that are 2 months in the business to, you know, they've been with, Angela's been with me for 8 years, so long term. So.
How you guys doing? Yeah. All right, so our team, we really embrace the expansion team concept. So my partner and I, Jeannie, she's somewhere around here, the redhead, you can't miss her. So my partner and I partnered up, and we really split up the responsibilities of the team. I focus very much on coaching and development of the team. She focuses on operations, which is absolutely what I hate to do. And so she focuses on all operations. We're about 17 agents right now. If we're going to talk lead generation and stuff, we do a lot of the similar things that you guys are familiar with, but one of the things that we do focus on is a lot of online leads. We run our own Google PPC and Facebook campaigns, and that's about it.
All right. I'm happy to be in Orlando, people. So, you know, Gainesville, we're in a whole different market in Gainesville, and so we have about 7 full-time agents on our team. We have about 3 full-time admin, transaction coordinators, listing managers, marketing people, like all that good stuff. We specialize in leverage. So we just recently partnered with a leverage booster company as well. So we have a back-end kind of cloud leverage type, I call it the mothership, that we're receiving from that we just recently transitioned to as well. So we're going through an onboarding process with them as well. And our agents are all lead genning. We've had to shift, and we'll talk about this, I would imagine, today. We'll talk about the shift and what we had to do to change our whole business structure and what we do every single day. So we're turning into a lead generation team. We've never really been a lead generation team. We've been a very heavily marketed team because Gainesville's not super huge, and I've been doing this for 20 years in that city. So we have a presence in that city. We get a lot of incoming calls, but when the incoming calls slowed down a whole lot, it was like, okay, we got to turn this thing back around and get into more of a lead generation mode.
Hello, everyone. So I run my team quite differently than many of these guys up here. So I'm not agent heavy, okay? So I'm very support heavy, which I feel is, really good for my clients. And they fill in a lot of my gaps, okay? So I have a listing coordinator. She is amazing, just the most warm, loves all my clients. I have a transaction coordinator who, she can go from poodle to pit bull as needed, is what we say. I've got an assistant who helps with a lot of my calls. I do lots of calls, lots of notes, lots of calls. I have 2 agents. One of them is really just kind of an assistant in the field to me, okay? And then I have a runner as well. So a bit of a different team structure than many, and they're also all salaried. So even my buyer's agents are on a salary basis.
That's awesome. Can you guys tell me a little bit about, and by the way, you'll just hear my voice coming from random places. Don't try to find me. It's going to confuse you. And
That's not weird at all.
It confused the audience because then they start watching wherever you're looking. It'll come through. What I want to know is, take us back to like 05, 08. Tell us a little bit about where you were last time the market shifted like it is, what you learned from it, and then what you're doing today to be prepared or to pivot to what's happening in the changing market. I'll go with you, Todd.
So 05, I had no plan of what was going on, what was happening. We were just selling real estate, selling a lot of it, and it was working. Spent all the money because it was just flowing in. And then 08, 07 hit. We were like, oh, okay, this is great. And then August hit in 07. We're like, oh, shit. And then it just stopped. And then 08, we were realizing, I didn't I didn't see where the market was going to the REOs, where a lot of these guys who got heavy into the REOs got into it in 06, 07. And then crushed it in 08 to 10 because of the REOs. So we're chasing the REOs in like 09, 10, spending all kinds of money trying to get invested in it. Not doing that again. It's, the market is what the market is. This is 2009, 10, 11, 12. The normal market, I think, what we're in. The market has shifted. It's not shifting. It's already shifted. We have to get in front of our clients a lot more often, get in front of our sellers more often with price reductions, get the properties like all the home stagers up here, get in front of them because our stuff has to look good. My stuff that's not selling, I'm like, what else can we do? It has to be marketed everywhere. We're reshooting listings, asking them to fix things that should have been fixed and getting new pictures. So we're stepping up, like I said, getting in front of our people more often. And I spend time trying to figure out lead generation wherever we can to bring calls in. I'm more of an inbound business, but we're also very relationship-based as well. So didn't do a lot of community stuff back in 05. We're doing a lot of community things now, keeping our brand name that's out there and trying to elevate our brand name a lot more to be involved in the community. So that's where we're trying to push more of that side of the business as well.
Awesome. So in 2004, I got out of the Marine Corps after 9 years of serving, and thank you. And honestly, when the 05 and 06 was happening, I had no idea that this was like a hot market and you could sell a lot of real estate and it was a lot of fun. So I just thought that this was normal. I had no idea what had come before or what was to come. 2007, 2008 happens. The market completely crashes. And I learned a very valuable lesson, and that lesson was study the hell out of your market, because before that, I didn't have to study it. It was just happening. Right? People were calling me, people were selling condos in Miami Beach. Like, we were having 3 closings on the same property at the same table, and everybody was killing it, and I was one of the buyers, right? So, like, we were going crazy and walking away with $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in commission in one shot, and I just thought that was normal. I didn't know any different. And so I ended up shifting. I wasn't savvy enough to get into the REO market, so I became a short sale fanatic. And this was fax machines. There was no Equator. There was no websites like that. Internet was super slow, guys, but it was not like high-speed Wi-Fi shit. You know, like, oh, excuse me, am I allowed to curse? It's too late, sorry. And so I had, you know, a client file look like it was huge, and you were trying to fax these, and then the fax would die, and you try to keep going, and it was lunacy. But in the first year of the crash, I closed 60 short sales. And that was, I made a relationship with one attorney, and I was like, wait a minute, this guy's charging $500 a month to foreclosure defense, and then when he can no longer do it, he's giving me the short sale and not asking me for anything. I need 5 more of these, right? And so I think one of the most valuable lessons, like he said, the market already shifted. So if you missed it, like start paying attention, because what you did 6 months ago, you can no longer do. It doesn't qualify in today's market. So things are changing, and they're gonna continue changing a little bit. And who knows what the next year brings us? Like, this is like a magic crystal ball right now, because we haven't really faced something like this, right?
What are you telling your team to do to be prepared or be proactive?
Super simple, back to basics. I don't even know where you are anymore.
Right, in front of you, straight ahead. Like literally straight ahead of you.
All right, oh, there you go. So back to basics, right? Like, and I, you know, so I coach as well, and in our coaching opportunities, we talk about that. We talk about how if you've been in the industry less than 10 years, the only thing you know is an ascending market. You only know up and to the right. That's all you know. And so you have no idea what it means to normalize, flatten out, or even dip. And in order to prepare for that, you need to understand that. And so what we're telling our team consistently is study the market. Where you sell is extremely important to study. We sell in Northern Virginia and South Florida, so we're studying 2 different markets.
Not to cut you off, Dave, but when you say study, what are you telling them to do?
So
specifically,
you know, when a client says they want to know what's happening in a market, we're so quick to run to the MLS and put them on an auto drip, right? Like, we run to the MLS, and in 6 seconds we can pop all the stuff in there, and all of a sudden they're getting daily emails. Do it for yourself. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. The information is at your fingertips. You pay for it. The association's happy to take your money for it, right? So you have all this tremendous amount of information. Stay away from CNN, Fox News, CNBC, you know, all that stuff. You know, stay away from that stuff, because, look, whether their numbers are real, fake, true, lies, they're national numbers. And what's happening here in Orlando, Florida, or Gainesville, or Miami, Florida, is not happening in Timbuktu, Tennessee, right? Like, I'm just making up names, but is real. Yes, I've been saying this for real. All right, so, you know, it's opportunity for you. Like, what's happening in LA, New York City, you know, New Jersey, you know, Northern Virginia, where we also operate. They're very, very different markets. And so to be able to understand what's happening in your backyard, the next time somebody comes up to you and says, hey, so how's the market? Or I heard that we're crashing, or, you know, interest rates, blah, blah, blah. It's just a lot of noise, right? And people are regurgitating what they heard somebody else say. Amen. And it's so consistent. And a lot of you guys, not me, but a lot of folks are getting on Instagram, they're listening to somebody they respect. That person is spewing out whatever they learned and regurgitated from somewhere else. And then we go on there and turn on the video and regurgitate the same crap, instead of honestly understanding your market and saying that. So lately I've been running massive campaigns on changing the narrative. Change the narrative of the market. The reason everybody thinks that the market's bad, by the way, is because that's the news they're receiving.
Love it.
So change the narrative.
Love it. Let's go to Craig. Let's talk about, yeah, we can give a round of applause for that, because he killed that, right? Craig, tell us about where you were last shift, what you learned from it, and what you're preparing, or how you're preparing your team.
Yeah, right on. So there's so much with what you said that I want to just like dive into deep. So, you know, 05, 6, 7, that whole thing. So we thought, you know, oh, this is going to be beautiful. The market was hot. I got in 02, didn't know it was not normal for the market to do what it did. And then we started hearing the news reports about it. Then we thought, okay, you know, this is going to continue to happen, right? We're going to always have this, you know, increasing market. Then we realized in 07, oh my gosh, something's wrong. You know, I had a listing expire. I remember sitting in my office in 2007, like late 2007, and I got a call from my office saying, hey, Craig, I want to let you know your listing is getting ready to expire. I said, what? You know, and it was a listing that it was actually a good listing, priced right in a good neighborhood, and then all of a sudden the light bulb went off, like something wrong, right? We got a problem. And so, anyway, then subsequent to that, so after that market crash happened, It was devastation all around the board, but we had to realize people, no matter what the market is doing, people have to buy, people have to sell. People will invest in every single market. So the switch for me became, what is the area of focus that I need to be in that's different than what I'm in now? And so I made a hard shift from being a strong listing agent to said, I got to find buyers. I had all these 40, 50 listings and they were not selling. This is a problem. I need to become a buyer's agent. So I became a buyer's agent like overnight to find that niche market. So in any shifting market, you got to know what focus do I need to put my attention into. Now, the one thing that really hit me during that time was, we were given such counsel to our clients about what the market was doing. And like you said before, we were doing it based off of what we were seeing, the big picture stuff, but we didn't really have context to it. So as we're spewing out information, what I realized down the road, we were given bad advice because we didn't take the time to really deep dive into the numbers, the economics, and understand what could happen. And so I made a vow at that time I would never, ever, ever have a client in front of me and be giving information that I just heard from somebody or some source, that I was going to do my own research, look at hear all the different commentaries, have counsel, find people that knew, things more than I did, and have those conversations. And then when I was sharing with my clients, I would have much more context to give to them. And so that was a big shift for me in the market. Now, the one thing that's important for us to understand also is that what's happening in the market right now is very different than what it was back in 05, 6, and 7. So when you hear people talk about, oh, the market's crashing, this is happening, don't go there. Okay, this is a very different phenomenon. How many of you guys have been in real estate? Who has been in real estate for less than 14 years? Raise your hand. All right, so that's like at least half the room has not been in a shifting market like this dramatic of a shift. So the important thing to know about that is back then the inventory was super high, right? Lots of homes for sale, lots of homes. Everybody's putting a house on the market. All of a sudden in 2008, the buyers went away. That's what the supply and demand thing happened. We had a market crash and prices crashed because we had all this inventory and nobody to buy it. Right now, in most places, we still have a significant inventory shortage. So even though the buyer activity has reduced significantly because of interest rates and people, buyer confidence, consumer confidence being so low, we still have an inventory problem. So it is not likely that we will see in most markets, I don't mean like I was talking to a guy with the Disney vacation rentals and stuff with who was that? Where's my man at? Right, okay, where his inventory went up like 1,000%, whatever. That's a unique niche market. But in the average market, you're not going to see, we still have inventory shortages. So we should not see prices crash like they did before. When you hear the news reports and the news reports saying the prices are coming down, it's the asking prices that are coming down because people are realizing that you can't ask, so much more than the last sale happened, right? So make sure you have context with the narrative, and when you communicate to your customers, talk truth to them with context. Yeah, right on.
And Abby,
So-
a little closer to your thing.
Get me closer. There we go. All right. So I go into my listing appointments and talk a lot about the inventory. And for me, I always tell them, I was in a comfortable place when we had about 10 to 12,000 homes in our market. Do you know how many homes we have in our market here? It's still only like 7,000. So it's all about perspective, right? So you also go back and you look at the numbers, pull up the data from 2008, and you literally just watch the inventory go up every month. So it started, right, and about April, May, we started to see it creep up. Then it took a few big leaps up. Then it leveled off. We're a couple hundred more, maybe each month for 3 months. That's not a significant change, okay? So it's not like it's crashing around us, right? But in 04, I think ignorance was bliss, right? I had just gotten my license in 04, and I'm a grinder, and so I was grinding it. So the market shifted, and guess what? I had to still grind it. And so for me, I guess I didn't get complacent in the market, and I saw the cheese move, and I moved with it. That's a great book for everyone to read in this shifting market. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? So yeah, the market shifted, and I remember just being on the phones late at night in the office, and my broker at the time walked in and said, "Why are you doing short sales? Don't waste your time." And I thought that just doesn't sound right. So I shifted, and I got heavily into REOs. That worked for me because I'm a pretty structured, system-oriented person. And so I was able to create some great systems to do higher volume. I've actually done more transactions, not higher volume, but more transactions back in the bank-owned days than I've still ever been able to get to. Okay? So I just shifted with it, but it really, at the end of the day, nothing for me has changed because it's about the basics. Doing the same things that are boring to most people over and over and over again, and that's what's made me successful. So I just have to remind myself, remind myself I need to enjoy doing it again, okay? Right? Like you remember that first time you got a lead and you were like so excited? Well, now the phone calls, sometimes I'm busy, I got the kids in the background, I got this. I have to get in the mindset of you gotta be excited for every opportunity. And that's important. So it's a mindset shift, right? That's really important.
All right. I want to ask you guys, let's go to when you first broke through, because this is about selling 100 plus homes a year. So let's jump into that. I want to talk about the year you first broke through triple digit homes and what the differences or changes or focuses or mindsets or daily habits, any of the above. What was the important differentiators that helped you break through that ceiling? Let's stay with you, Abby, since... Yeah.
So continuing on with that
keep going.
conversation, because it was literally the year of the bank owns for me. I mean, I think I'd have to go back and look at my numbers. I mean, I did double and then increase, but it literally went from, I think, 60 close to over 100, and then I think it was 169, 170, right around there. And it was just because I had the systems to handle it. I built the systems and the structure. REO is, it's draining. It's so much back end and systems and structure and so much work that you don't even realize goes into it. You become a property manager, which I don't do property management, but I just segued into that. And what I realized and where I went wrong, and this time around, I mean, we're not going back to that market, but this time around, I had lost touch with what I always wanted to do and have that warm business. And so I got so into that other market that I didn't have, like I do a monthly letter to my database. I wasn't doing those things. So when that market went away, I lost 70 listings in one day. That was a bad day. The company sold and I just had to wave to them bye-bye. And, I literally pulled out from under you and just had to say, okay, well, now what next? And grind it out again and get back to my warm business. So just don't lose touch with the basics.
All right, that's great. Yeah, give that up. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's, I don't know, has anybody in this room sold 100 houses without having systems? Okay. Yeah, I mean, so what she's saying is spot on. I don't think it's possible to do that kind of. Now, when I first.
You should have joined us last May when RTR took the stage. I just got to say, just got to throw that out there.
So, I don't. When I started, I had no systems. I had nothing, and I got to about 55 to 60 to 65, and then that was it. I was just burnt out because you're literally spinning around trying to do all the things. So, this is not complicated, but you have to have systems and you have to have some type of leverage. Otherwise, you will not have a life. So one of the things that's important about this industry, people on stage and people are talking how great they are and blah, 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 blah. Listen, so what? You sold 1,000 houses, 2,000, 8 million houses. I mean, it doesn't, who cares at the end of the day? What do you have a life? Do you have happiness? Do you have peace? Are you enjoying, what you're doing, right? So, we have to be careful that we're not looking at people that have done successful things and assuming that their lives are successful, okay? So understand, find balance in your life, okay? Enjoy the process, get systems, whether you do 50 homes or 100 homes or 1,000 homes, have a system, and have leverage. So here's what we're talking about, specifically. The 5 jobs of the real estate agent, what are they, right? Number 1, lead generate. You gotta have a dedicated system daily of lead generation, whether you're doing it yourself, whether you're hiring it out, whether you're paying for leads, something. You better be doing something to generate every day consistent activity. We love our database. We are big into events, touching our people. We're big on that. So we do a lot of events every year, small ones, big ones, one-on-ones, small groups, all the things. But it's not just random. We sit down and we plan for events. Like literally, so next month we'll be sitting down, getting all of our events planned for the whole entire year. There'll be many of them. You got to lead follow-up. Right? So that was my problem when I first started, was that I was very good at generating leads. I can go into a room, I can connect with people very quickly, open houses, all the different things that we do. But then it's like, if you weren't ready to make a buying decision at that moment or a selling decision, it was like, I forgot about you because I was so on to the next one. It wasn't like I was trying to be mean. It's just, you just focus on who's the right now. So have a system put in place for lead follow-up. Well, what does that mean? Well, maybe on Mondays, I'm from 9 to 10, I'm doing my lead generation, and 10 to 11, I'm doing my lead follow-up from all the people that I need to talk to before. Have a system daily. You got to go on appointments. You got to set appointments, right? The purpose of the whole thing is setting appointments. Know your numbers. You have to know whatever your goal is for the end of the year, you must know how many appointments must you set every week in order to hit your goals. Take the time to sit down and plan your year. No matter how big your goal is, you have to know. You break it down into small bite-sized pieces. It's really not that hard to sell 100 houses if you have a plan, right? You have to negotiate contracts. You got to script and role play. We'll say conversations and role play, right? You have to have practice on your conversations. Work your skills. Find buddies. If you're a single agent, find people that you can partner with every day to take about 20 minutes to just practice your conversations, right? Overcoming objections, that kind of thing. If you do those things consistently, like you were saying, it's a matter of getting comfortable and excited about the boring. It was very boring to sit and have a same thing every day, but understand the market that we're in right now, if you do not do that, your probability of success, besides something, outlier things happening in your world, is very low. So have a systematic plan every day and find people that can help you. Typically, we're all very good at doing specific things, but not everything. So find somebody that's different than you, who's got a skill set in an area that you don't have. Create an opportunity for them to come into your world, give them an opportunity to shine in their skill set, and then you guys together collectively grow and shine together.
Did y'all get all 5 things? Was that all 5? You got them?
You saw when he said that, I waved at my partner. I was like, yes, right?
I walked over and told the video guy to mark it so we can make a clip of that.
So a couple things come to mind. First thing is selling 100 plus homes a year is not for everybody. And so I want to tell you from here that you don't have to if you don't want to, right? And so a lot of times people get into this industry and they're like, I got to be the best. I got to do this. I got to do that. And my mindset was always like that. When I first started coaching, I used to get in front of people and I used to be like, top producer, top producer, top producer, sell, 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 right? And one day I had this wonderful lady change my whole prospect of coaching. And she came up to me and she said, Dave, I love your coaching. I love what you're doing, but I don't want to be a top producer. And so, filter brain to mouth came in, thank God. And my brain was like, what the hell are you thinking, lady? What's wrong with you, right? And my mouth said, well, what do you want to sell? She said, I need $60,000 a year. And I said, okay, you got to help. She said, I have a townhouse, it's paid off. I have a car, it's paid off. I have 3 kids. It is more important to me as a single mother to be at soccer, football, cheerleading, and all that other stuff. I want to be a part of the PTA. I want to be president of the PTA. I want to do that stuff. And she said, this is what I need. That's all I need. Can you show me how to do that? And we had a whole one-on-one crazy impromptu session on that. And so what you begin to realize is if you do the numbers, so let's get into number 1, numbers. Know your numbers, right? Like you take 100 homes, who's got a calculator? Okay, real quick, can we do this real fast? It's so easy, right? If you take 100 homes, we're talking about selling 100 homes a year, right? And you multiply that by 2, what do you have? 200, everybody agree? Right? So those are 200 conversations, meetings, true meetings that you need to have in order to close 100 homes, because you might write more contracts than 100, but some of them are going to fall through. Do we agree? Right? So 200 meetings. If I multiply that by 3, what do I get? 2, 4, 6, 600, right? That's 600 calls and conversations, not calls and left a voicemail. Calls and conversations I need to have a year to get to that number. What's 600 divided by 52? Can we have 11 conversations a week? It's so simplistic when you do the numbers. So, yeah, know your numbers. Just know your numbers. And remember, your threshold, understand it. if it is more important to you to be at cheerleading, then maybe 100, 200, 300 homes is not for you. But if you're willing to sacrifice for a little bit, leads me to number 2, which is leverage. You have to have a tremendous amount of leverage. Systems are always great, but if there's no one to operate the systems, they don't work, right? So we've got a wonderful team manager. I have a personal assistant, and Jeanette has a personal assistant, and we use a TC company. That's her thing. That's what we do, right? And we and we have a marketing director running around here taking pictures, right? And so this is the kind of stuff that we do to leverage our time and ourselves. Here we are, all of us up here, 100 plus homes, and you saw all our great numbers, right? But guess what? We have the time to do this because why? Because there's somebody else doing the work and growing the business. You got to do it up front. But at some point, you have to leverage yourself so that you can create the development and the growth of your business and take advantage of that. Do we all agree? Yes. Right? Lastly, is understanding that you're running a business. And I think a lot of real estate agents tend to forget that. When you go to that 1-week course and take that super easy exam and become a real estate agent, you become a business owner. Your broker is not responsible for your success. So if you're like going to companies and interviewing companies because you think they're gonna make you rich, wrong answer. You are responsible for your success. Treat your business like a business. If you can do that and begin to study what that means and understand corporate culture, then there's no limit for you. And that's something that's special about our industry. We sell the one commodity that everybody wants or needs. We don't sell Tupperware. We don't sell hats. We don't sell glasses. We sell the one commodity that everyone in this room currently has, wants or needs. Do we agree? So take advantage of that wonderful opportunity, yo.
As Aaron just stated, everyone else wants kitchen knives. So if you want Cutco, we've got the Cutco rip over here.
We got Christina over there, by the way, if anyone needs closing gifts or some knives in their kitchen. I know we got a lot of LPT people here. Ask Robert what kind of knives he has in his kitchen and go see Christina.
So for me, getting to that 100-point mark was all about leverage and having the assistant coming in and then getting to the first buyer's agent. And it's just growing the team from there. And I mean, we were getting the first assistant that allowed me to be at the baseball games on the weekends. But being at the baseball games on the weekends allowed me to coach those games, which then allowed me to create clients from those games because I was meeting the parents. So it's, and finding, as I said about, and I mean, I think the question's pretty much been answered across the three and a lot more than just the answer for that. But what you've got to figure out is where you want to get your business from and pick a thing in each spot. So if you want to get lead generation from Zillow, okay, I need to figure out how much I want to spend on Zillow to get those leads. If I want to get lead generation from the PTA or from the school, what do I need to do inside the school to get those opportunities with the teachers and the parents? High school, same thing. If you go in my neighborhood, we're got names on the back of all the teacher shirts. We're on the football field, the baseball field, the middle school, the yearbook. My daughter hates that I have a full page ad in her yearbook. But sorry. Yeah. Oh, it's got my picture in there. Everything, and it's all about brand recognition. We're walking down the street and like, I don't know you, but you know me, okay? And that's standing at somebody in front of a house yesterday. I've got somebody showing, and they're like, you meeting the Lewises? Yeah, I'm meeting the Lewises. And everyone over there knew who I was, but I didn't, like, they're pulling up like I knew them. But that's the point of the brand recognition. So as you create your brand, you're gonna build that clientele out there. And if you're all over the place, it's gonna be hard to do that, but we try to be community focused as well. And we can sell 100 homes in our community very easy. And if you think about it, it's literally like 2 a week. I mean, how many people can sell 2 houses a week and write the contract and get it done? And then you have someone else to support that. That's your support system. So, and it's also about the systems, as they said. Get the systems built out with the right support person. Don't keep changing because you go to a trade show that was here last week and Brivity and Follow Up Boss and all of them, they all have these great things. Well, don't just try the 10-day free trials. Find one, stick with it, and work with it because it's going to work the way you work it. So,
love it.
Aaron, can I give another tip? Do you mind? Yeah, because I love something, Todd, right?
Yeah.
I love something Todd was saying.
Todd.
Huh?
Todd, yeah.
Yeah, I said Todd. I said Todd, right? All right, we're on the same page.
It's that Miami accent.
Guy in the back of the yearbook, you know that guy? Yeah. All right, so
You got to put her baby picture in that next time.
Look, what's our job? Is our job to write contracts and close deals or create relationships? Relationships first, right? Can you create relationships from behind the computer? No, you got to get out there, right? There is an opportunity, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you're writing contracts the whole time and, you know, doing all this craziness and building all this marketing stuff up and trying to create, are you out developing relationships? Are you answering the people that are actually attracted to the stuff that you're doing? So leverage, we all said it. Leverage is a big key, and one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to grow their business is they don't hire an assistant, they go hire a duplicate of themselves, right? And so, like, I need a buyer's agent. I don't want to work with buyers anymore. Okay, but do you have an assistant to leverage them? No, we don't. So I'm a huge believer that your assistant is your first hire, and also it holds you accountable because now you're responsible for somebody's lifestyle.
Hey, also, just before we go,
ask you to talk about assistants. So
yeah, so, you know, understand as this market continues to squeeze us all, right? There's going to be NAR's Federal Reserve is predicting, Freddie and Fannie is predicting about 30% less transactions in 2023 from 2022, right? So we have a lot, 1.6 million real estate agents, realtors across the country right now. There's not enough meat on the bone for everybody, okay? So my advice to everybody here in this room specifically is cut your expenses, get tight, okay? Find things that you can do to lead generate, touch your people that are not gonna require you to spend a lot of money if you can, because we don't know what this market is gonna do for us, you know, how it's gonna affect us all, you know, and I don't want to be a downer in the room. I just want to be like real, you know, that, you know, we're predicting about 25 to 30% less people in the industry within the next 24 months because they're not going to be able to survive.
Which, by the way, that's okay.
Which
I
is
welcome
okay.
that. That's
Which is okay. I just want to make sure that us in the room, if we ever, the next thing that Aaron's got planned, if we do another thing like this, that you all could be not in that statistic that didn't make it, right?
Yeah.
So now we want you.
50% of agents sold nothing last year anyway.
Yeah, correct.
Like 0 homes.
Correct. There's a book I want to recommend that you guys all get also, okay? I wish I would have did this 20 years ago, but I found it about 3 years ago, and it's changed my world a lot. The book is called Profit First. Anybody read Profit First?
Yeah. Great book.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard of that book or read that book, write it down, buy it today, and read it this next week.
I'm going to add something on to what you're saying. When you see the slide come up where you can download this month's version of the magazine, I'm going to give you a reason that everyone in here should, even if you don't care what's in the magazine, based off Profit First. There is a vendor a sponsor that we work with named Dusty Rollins, and he's in our sponsor index, which you have to download there. Dusty is a tax consultant. He's not an accountant. By the way, you should also meet Steve Bell with Harding Bell International, who's a phenomenal accountant. But Dusty is a Profit First consultant, essentially, and he actually helps people make sure that they're maximizing their strategies. So he will make an entire consultation strategy, build all your tax stuff so that you can give it to your accountant, and if they don't want to run it, he will probably recommend you find someone that will want to run it, or you can call Steve Bell with Harding Bell International. So when you see that come up, since he brought up Profit First, you should download that and find Dusty Rollins. It's Oxford Business Consulting is the name of his company.
Dusty, you're welcome.
Love you, Dusty. All right, let's keep this thing going. Let's talk about scaling, because we talked about like leverage and all of that. Actually, you know what? Before I go there, I want to hear from, because we've talked a lot about getting the right person and assistant. All of you have that. I want to hear how you got them, where you find them, what tips you have for basically any golden nuggets you can give the people in this room about how they start finding, training, and managing the right person.
You notice how no one wants to answer that?
Finding the right one takes going through many of the wrong ones. I mean, honestly, right? It has taken me a long time to put together the team that I have. I'll be the first to admit it. I didn't know how to be a good leader when I first started. Admit it. We're all not good at something the first time we do it. Okay? So know your first hire. You're probably going to burn through them. I mean, just it is what it is, right? My first assistant is not still with me. Okay? I mean, I make more mistakes than anyone else out here. Honestly, I think that's why I am successful, because I acknowledge that, I admit, and I'll keep going through it. So I've made plenty of mistakes with all my people, but just continuing to try to get better and do better. Where did I find them? I mean, my relationships, people, find Craigslist. Actually, one of my assistants was on Craigslist back in the day. Indeed, things like that, just putting it out there. I mean, through other people in the room, right? I've interviewed other agents from other top producing agents that said, hey, this person didn't work with my team, but they have something in them. I think they'd be great for you. So just putting the word out there, putting it out there, and then creating a structure for them to follow, right? If you don't have systems in place for them to follow, then they're gonna be like, well, what am I supposed to do? And then you get mad at them for not doing what you in your head know needs to be done, but they don't know what they need to do, right? So it's a lot of, okay, tracking it out first, and right, if you need an assistant, you're already so busy, it's like this hamster wheel, right? But you gotta take the time and create that structure for them to follow and hold them accountable to it and love on them, and love on them big time, right? And you will fail, and then you will just learn, you gotta do it better again. Right?
Love it. Can I throw something in since y'all seem a little stumped? I'm over here in your left
Oh, I'm
side.
not stumped.
Yeah, me neither. I'm ready to go.
I know these guys are about to fire off, but I'm going to share one thing because it's easy. I know there's people in the room that are like, oh, it's easy for Abby. She sells 200 homes a year. It's easy for, like, I know there's going to be someone here that's not going to say it, but they're thinking it. So my thought is a lot of you guys need a virtual assistant first. Even if it's part-time, you need to delegate the tiny, minuscule stuff. Like, you would be shocked how much of the magazine, the communication, the onboarding, the filling out our contracts, all of that, I don't do any of that. My virtual assistant, Jose, does it. Most of y'all have talked to Jose before. In fact, I've had people invite Jose to lunch. Jose's like, what do I tell them? I'm like, tell them you're in the Philippines and they'll get you a flight. You're more than happy to do it. So the reason I say this is for a few $100s a month, a lot of you could have at least 10 or 15 or 20% of the BS taken off of your plate. It's not going to be the biggest income producing activity. It's not supposed to be. But like, if you ever have to take time to pay an invoice, if you ever get on a phone call and you jot down that you're going to email them later that day, that's the biggest one y'all probably screw up, is when you have to follow up later, but you're like in the zone now, like somebody else should send the follow-up. So it happens. Most people, they'll get on the phones, they'll make a ton of calls, and then they have a to-do list for later that day for what to do from the calls, and they don't do any of it because they don't handle their stuff. They don't have someone doing it. So you could get a virtual assistant to handle things like invoices, repeat tasks, organizing. Like, my assistant makes a lot of spreadsheets, so he'll know like who came to MasterClass today. And if I say, hey, pull out all the people that aren't on this list or on that one or came to the other month or did this, I can do that, and he'll upload them into my email. He'll upload them into a texting system. He'll upload to wherever. So all I'm doing is typing out what I want to say and hitting the button. And I can tell you that saves me dozens and dozens of hours every week. And I can only imagine if I was in real estate, it'd save me probably even more. So I just thought I'd share that nugget.
Yeah, one point, because I didn't do this, right? He asked, how did I? I didn't do it the right way. What should I have done? Outsource first, right? Like, I didn't have the systems and the structure in place for a transaction coordinator. I know there are great companies that are affiliates with this group that have a transaction coordinator company. So outsource first. That alleviates you from having to create those systems and structures and allows you to just offload it right then and there.
Okay, so it's hard to find the right person. We know that, right? However, of course, we heard the term, right? You hire slow, fire fast. There's a reason for that. Just know going in, you do need to find the right person, and it is going to take you time and attention away from your business to find the right person. However, it is worth it to do that. We have a very specific process. It is a long process, okay? But when we go through that process, we eliminate the chances of finding the wrong person. Now, my style is I meet people, I'm like, oh, you're great, come on, work with us, And then it doesn't work out real well. Not the best plan to do, okay? So, first of all, you have to have a very specific written description of what it is that you're looking for. Like, who are you trying to hire for what purpose? So when you're marketing for that person, you gotta have it really spelled out clearly. And it doesn't have to be all formal, like da-da-da-da-da. You can put some formality and put some, hey, you got to have a good, good attitude, fun. You got to like to go out and do this, whatever. But just be descriptive about what it is that you want. Now, we do a tiered approach. So the first thing we use Indeed, put out an ad, very descriptive ad on Indeed. makes the phone ring, right? So everybody's calling in, but in our ad, we'll give the person some basically an assignment, instructions, instructions of what to do. Call this number, tell us XYZ, blah, blah, blah. If they don't do that part right, eliminate it. There's no phone call back, okay? If they do that, then we want to hear how they sound on the voicemail. So we're listening for things, okay? Then, if they make it past that part, we will send them a disc profile, okay? Because we need to know. We know the type of person that is a natural fit for the role that we're hiring for. So you have to be very clear about, do I want an ISA, like a lead generation person? Do I want an executive admin? Do I want whoever you want? What is the type of personality that typically fits well with that job description? Now, when we send them the disc profile, if they don't fit that profile, not likely we're going to do that. Not that they're a bad fit, it just means that it might require more energy from them to do the job that we want them to do. Then if they make it past all that, we'll do a phone call interview. Okay, so we're getting a phone, we're gonna talk back and forth. If they make it past that, then we're gonna do an in-person interview. And we're gonna send them, we have a thing in our company called it's a profile assessment tool that really digs down deep into who the person is, and then we'll go and validate that with the person. This is a lot of steps, right? However, I have my longest term person's been with for 16 years. We have another one, our most two recent hires have been with us for 4 and 5 years from when we started doing this program. We don't lose admin. And they all fit really well into our structure and our system. So the other thing is, after they go through that whole process, then we have a group, our team has got to approve the person. So we do a group interview with these folks as well to make sure we have buy-in from everybody on the team. Then if that all works, they get the green light to go onto our team. So it's a lot. However, you will find that it'll save you the drama. It's not foolproof, but it will save you the drama, less drama of making that bad hire.
That's
hey, real quick, Dave, before because I know you're about to spew some nuggets. How many of y'all have learned something so far? Can y'all make some noise? Yo, do us one small favor, and if you're sharing this stuff on social media, hashtag MasterclassOrlando, check in at Harry Buffalo, and what I'm gonna do is give out, I'll give out $300 swag packs. I'm not gonna explain what all the stuff is, but to people that hashtag MasterclassOrlando, we'll find you on whatever social media you do it on. Just wanted to plug that. David, let's hear what you got.
So I love his hiring process. I have a little bit of a different pieces of advice, and one of those is, there's a consistency in hire slow, fire fast, right? A lot of people say that, similar to the saying fail forward. I hate that saying; it's disgusting. But hire slow, fire fast works if your process of hiring was very good. It doesn't work if it wasn't very good. Let me explain why. Most of the time we're firing people, we haven't spent enough time educating on what we wanted them to do. And so it's our fault, and we're firing them, right? And so before you're quick to fire, take a seat back and ask yourself, have I done what I'm supposed to do to help this person rise to the top? If I haven't, then let me try that first. And then if they still don't rise to the top, fire them. But if they begin to rise, then you're creating new opportunity for yourself, right? And you had the right person all along. The other piece is I strongly believe in VAs. I love VAs. I love virtual assistants. My personal assistant's a virtual assistant. That guy builds websites, changes formats. He cuts my videos. He does so much stuff that I don't want to learn how to do. Does that make sense? Right? I don't have the time to sit down and learn video editing software. I just know that when I create the video and upload it into the Google Drive and I shoot them a WhatsApp and I go, yo, I just uploaded a new video, do the thing, and we have a list, right, on what needs to be done for the video. He takes it and shoots it back to me in like an hour. He's done. It's got words on it, they pop, it's cut right, the beginning and the end is out, there's music in the background. He understands, but I've spent a lot of time working with him because he is a VA. Educating him is significantly different, right? And also, you know what? he's not going to get really excited about the business and go get his real estate license and decide he doesn't want to work for me anymore, right? Which has happened to me so many times, which is why I love virtual assistants, right? Oftentimes we hire somebody great, they see what you're doing, and they go, oh my God, I want to do that, right? So they go take this super easy 1-week course, take this super easy test, become a license, and then they don't do what you do, so they get frustrated, right?
And I would say you hired the wrong person, because the person that you hired that's right would never want to do that.
Yeah.
And that's, the people that we hire, like
Hire them
literally,
right.
they never want to sell because they love being behind the scenes. They love support. So finding that person that's a supportive type, personality type that doesn't want to be in the spotlight or shine in sales in that area, they shine behind the scenes. So that's such an important dynamic.
And the disc profile that he was talking about, so this was one of my biggest hiccups, and he just said it, right? Hiring wrong. When you get that disc profile, I don't care how much you love that person. If the disc profile does not match the job description you're trying to put them in the place for, don't hire them. Because oftentimes we fall in love with who? People that are like us, right? We're not trying to hire a duplicate of ourselves. We're trying to hire somebody who wants to do the shit that we don't want to do, right? And so that leads me to my last tip, which is take a piece of paper, oh, what do I tell my assistant to do? That's like the biggest question. It happens all the time in coaching. Take a piece of paper, put a line down the middle. On one side, write down everything you absolutely love about this industry. On the other side, write down everything you hate to do. Everything you hate doing, everything you don't want to learn how to do, everything you wish you could hire somebody else to do, that's their job description. Write that on a piece of paper, and that's it. Look for that person.
If the disc don't fit, they about to quit.
Love that.
I just made that up.
Please mark that so we can make that a clip. Video guys. Hey, just one other thought on the virtual assistants, since you brought up how much you like them. Some of you guys here, like the biggest question I get is, what would I give my virtual assistant to do if you hired them for 40 hours a week? What would you do? It's like, my person for 40 hours. My 40-hour person costs like giving someone 6. So the truth is, I don't necessarily care if they work 40 hours a week. I care that they handle the job. It's too loud. Anyway, I'll step away. But here's the other thing I was going to say. Some of you guys are trying to figure out, like, you'll learn how to put your assistant to work. And a lot of you, you're looking to hire a full-time or part-time salaried person that's going to cost you a ton more. And you're going from 0 to that. Like, you don't know how you give your virtual assistant enough stuff, so you jump straight to the 50K a year, 30K a year, 40K. Like, I've never understood why there aren't gradual steps or a both, because typically having a really good back end helps you put on more people on your staff. So, like, we have people on our staff, and they're supported by our virtual staff. So just a couple thoughts to share.
So we're going to work on a new book called Where's Aaron? Every time he speaks, we're trying to figure out where he's at. We're all looking at each other. But, for me, my first assistant, when I hired her, it was somebody that was working at a property management company that had just recently quit and wanted to do something different. And I'd looked at her one day, and she's staring at the screen with not typing. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm waiting to be what's told to do next. You got to have someone that's a self-starter. Because if they're waiting for you we're out showing houses 6 hours a day, and if they're just sitting at the office twiddling their thumbs, it's a waste of money. The second part is pay them right. And you may be paying 40, 50, 60,000 a year, but you're gonna get the right person. You're not gonna hire someone to run your business for 30 grand a year. They're just not the right fit. They've got to cost 60. And if a lot of it comes down to financial too, because we're selling 24, 25, 30 homes a year. I can't afford 50,000 a year. Okay, cool. Let me partner with Danny over here and let's get an assistant together. Or let me get a transaction coordinator to get that started and then get into where I'm building my business up. Because if I can get the transactions away from myself, then I can get the assistant to help with it, and then I can go out and sell more houses, then I can start building. That's when you get your buyer's agent or your next assistant to help you. I mean, I've got a friend who sells 200 homes a year by himself. It's all through support, and that's the key, is having the right support there. Where to find them? Rachel, who runs my company now, I call her my first assistant, and she's like my third because the other two are part-time. But she was Craigslist, $10 an hour, and now she's running the business. I could step away for a month knowing everything's going to run. She's the one-on-one. She's the one doing the interviews if we're hiring anybody else into the team. Our transaction coordinator, she has her license, and it's active because she can do all the real estate things that I don't want to do. She can talk to the other agent about negotiations. She can talk to the seller about negotiations. So it alleviates those conversations as well. So having all that stuff there, I can leave the office at 3 o'clock knowing my day's handled. And if I don't show up for 2 days, the day's handled because we have the right people in place. You know, I haven't put an ad on Craigslist in probably 10 years, but you can find them anywhere through Indeed, LinkedIn, Craigslist, Facebook Jobs. I mean, Ashley, who was over here taking photos, that was Facebook Marketplace. Or not Market, what was it? Facebook ads. So anywhere you find. And, you know, there's probably agents in your office who are struggling, who probably make a great admin and decide they want to get out of the, am I going to get paid this week? Because you want someone who wants to be stable. And the Rachel and Katie in our office both have their license. They do sell real estate, but it's only to their neighbor or their friend. They don't want to leave their desk. And every time they go out and sell to one of their friends, they're like, God, I hate this business. I hate dealing with clients. Except they love being behind the desk dealing with our clients. They just hate dealing with their own clients. So they would probably love to hand those clients over as well. So just find somebody who likes to be behind the desk. Disc profile, of course, as they said, find the right fit there because, and again, slow to hire, quick to fire. You need to do that because that will drag your day down as well.
Just before we go, I want to make sure, I don't want to leave this room without saying this. What is your personal mission? What is your business? What's your vision and your mission for your business, right? If you don't have that written down, dialed in, and hired to that, we're hiring people that understand what our vision is, what our mission is, what our core values are, and that's what we hire to. So that's a big part of our process. If the person does not buy into that, then they're not the right fit for us. I don't care how good they are or talented they are. Because what I find is that people will be more committed, not to you, they're more committed to the mission that you're doing, the bigger picture. So if you're not communicating a bigger picture besides selling a lot of houses and being the whatever, then you're not gonna have people that really stick. My people are staying with us because they love who we are. They understand who we are and they wanna be a part of that and they wanna see the imagery of who we are grow because they are part of that growth, right? So keep that in mind when you're looking at your hires as well.
Love it. By the way, who here's learned something so far? Let's give a round of applause to our panelists. I'm going to just plug it now since I got your attention. If you haven't marked off the evening of December 1st on your calendar, we are about to make public, most of y'all have gotten invites here if you're in the top 500, the rest of y'all, it might even be on one of these slides, our end of year party. We brought in a band, they're pretty badass, they're called the Honey Hounds. We're taking over Tin Roof 6:30 to 9:30 December 1st. And if you need the info to grab it, all the proceeds go to Base Camp Children's Cancer Foundation, both today and at our December 1st party. Can we give a round of applause to that? If you don't know Base Camp, they help local families that are battling childhood cancer here in Central Florida. And so come on out or donate if you can't make it out. If you don't have a link, you can send a message to any of our social. We'll get you the link. But I want to ask these guys at least one more question, maybe two if we have the time. Because we kind of went through a little bit of everything, like mindset, leadership, built. Let's talk about your sphere. I want to hear how each of you keep in touch with your clients and your sphere, what types of marketing you find, like if you're doing events, if you're doing postcards, if you're doing emails, like kind of break down an overview of your follow-up with your sphere or your farm if it's different.
So for me, Mondays are my sphere days. So I call my sphere on Mondays. We do a letter of the heart that goes out to my sphere as well as my past clients, and it's nothing about real estate. It's about my family, my feelings, what's going on in my world, like zero real estate for the most part. And we do events. So we just had an event for photos, holiday photos for people, and had them over to my house. I had nice photography set up, and they can do their holiday cards. So lots of events throughout the year. I mean, every birthday I hit, every anniversary, I'm calling them. So birthdays and anniversaries are all calls, not just automatic ones. Sometimes BombBomb videos out for those as long as they're personalized. And also, some market updates, right? Those are specific to the market updates. They get those on a monthly basis just to know what's going on. So a lot of communication, try to do as much one-on-one time. I mean, my sphere are people I usually, I'm living with, I'm spending my life with. So just being with them at my kids' functions and events. I cycle, so being on the road with the guys and stuff like that. So being face-to-face with them, breaking bread with them as much as I possibly can, right? Like that's worth like 10 phone calls, right? But just staying in front of them as much as I possibly can.
Okay, so yeah, all of that, what she said, like all of that. Make sure that you have your database broken up into categories also, because we have about 12,000 in our database, so we hit everybody in our database all the time. We have newsletters and all the things that we do weekly, lots of events and that kind of thing. And then we have our VIP clients as well that we'll do like really high-end things for, like high-end dinners or events or functions, activities, that kind of thing. And then also we have our general events that are like large events, whether it be movie theater, showing, screenings. We have, we did a really great event at a blueberry picking farm that has, all kinds of things for kids and families and that kind of thing. Of course, I do a lot of one-to-ones, so calling, key players in our network. Your network is your net worth, right? That's what we say in our network is your net worth. So we do a lot of one-to-one. I do a lot of one-to-one lunches and dinners. What I'll do, I'll text one of my Sphere people, and I'll say, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Let's get together. Just want to catch up with you. What do you want to do? Breakfast, lunch, coffee, or happy hour, right? Give them an option, and they get to choose, right? And then we put it in the calendar, and that's a continual thing. We want to touch our people like, every week. Somebody's getting some kind of a contact, phone, email, gift in the mail, something like that. We're actually doing a pie day for our referral partners only. Right, we're doing all the people that have given us referrals in the past year. We give them pie days for those folks specifically. We just went and bought, I don't know, like a lot of 200 pies. Servers. Yeah, and so because we appreciate people, even if we never actually helped them buy, sell, or invest, because they're talking about us, and we want them to know that that's important for us, that they're doing that, and we love them and appreciate them for doing those kind of things. So that is the most important thing: to figure out different creative ways that are natural to you. Don't just do it because it sounds good. You want to do the best marketing that you can do to touch your database is the thing that is natural to you that you will actually do. And you can leverage out those things as well, as we said before.
Love it. Craig, two questions made me think of, and I realized I didn't want to cut you off while you're on a roll. How many people, how many people are in that group of people that you're sending a text, let's connect, let's grab call, about how many people do you think are in that? Not that you broke it down.
There's several hundred. Yeah,
several hundred
that I'm.
Is there an actual list, or is it in your head, and that you just constantly reaching out to people to stay in touch?
We have it broken down in a database. However, I'm not that good because I'm just kind of like always as it comes. So I do it as it comes. I have people like when I'm looking at like Facebook, social media things or whatever, and I see people, I say, I haven't talked to that person in a long time, and but I make it my point to always find people that I know, and I just have a wide group of people that I'm connected with throughout the year. So I don't have any trouble, finding somebody to spend time with. As long as you do that, I can literally do it all day, every day. So yeah.
Love.
Yeah. We were joking. We said it's like dating. You guys remember being single? Who's not?
A lot of dates.
A lot of dates. I'm a big phone call guy. I still believe in actually having conversations. I know a lot of you guys have moved to the text message thing. I believe in conversation. I believe that the psychology of a relationship is in 3 parts. It's touch, see, and hear. And I believe that if they hear me, I'm getting one part across. If I send a text, it's none of the above. You got me? And so I'm a big video text guy. So if you don't pick up my phone call, I'm going to leave you a voicemail because I still want you to hear me. But I'm also going to send you a video text because if you see me and hear me, then I'm touching on 2 of the pieces. My entire mission is to get in front of you because I want to touch you, right? I want to shake your hand, give you I'm a hugger. So I'm going to hug you. But, you see, we're huggers, man. So, and I hope somebody got a picture of that. And so, if... Would you guys be okay if I gave you an assignment? Yeah. All right. If I told you that this assignment would help you sell 6 to 10 homes in the next 90 days, would you be okay with that? Yeah. All right, check this out. It's the craziest assignment, but I promise you, 92% of the room is not going to do it. How crazy is that, right? I just told you you're going to sell 6 to 10 homes in the next 90 days if you do exactly what I'm going to tell you to do, and 92% of you are not going to do it. And those of you that do, shoot me a DM and be like, David worked. Because I want to screenshot that. No, I put it in my coaching program, okay? This is what I want you to do. There's an app called SA Contacts. SA Contacts. Download that app. That's step number 1. Step number 2, open the app and download your entire client list. What is your client list? Your contacts, right? Download all your contacts. And then it's going to turn it into an Excel spreadsheet, email it to yourself. Take the Excel spreadsheet and spend some time on it and delete all the phone numbers that don't make sense anymore, like Walgreens, CVS, Publix, right? Like, we're not calling the store manager, right? Like, delete all those names that don't make sense and keep every human on there. Then separate realtors from others. Then take the list and separate your sphere of influence from your power sphere. Your power sphere are the people who are your biggest cheerleaders. These are the people that will be at dinner, not have spoken to you in 3 weeks, and somebody says, I need a realtor, and they go, I got somebody. These are your biggest cheerleaders, right? You think you might want to pay attention to those folks a little bit more, right? So next thing you're going to do, and here's where it gets daunting, right? Because I already lost people on Excel spreadsheet, by the way, right? 50% of the room was like, Excel, no, never mind, right? Then this is what I want you to do. Chances are you don't have everybody's updated email address or an email address for everybody. Some people you just got phone numbers for, right? Call them up, see how they're doing, and then ask them for their email address. Put them in there. Start creating campaigns to these folks. So what I want you to do is call every single person on that list. See how they're doing. Let them know how you're doing. It's so easy to say, oh man, I've been so busy in my real estate business. It's been fantastic, and the family's doing well too, right? Such an easy, natural script, by the way. It's not a script, it's just natural. You're talking about you. Because if you ask them how they're doing, they're going to tell you, and then they're going to go, how about you? How are you doing? You just opened up the door for that. Now you're creating conversations and relationships. By the way, you're going to warn them, and you're going to say, hey, I'm going to put you on my email campaigns. Is that okay with you? You know, it's, different stuff, all kinds of different, oh yeah, sure, no problem, no worries. Cool. And then send daily emails out. Now, when I say that, almost everybody in the room goes, daily? No, I'm going to go once a week. Okay, you go once a week. Give me the list. I'm going to go daily. I'm going to sell 6 to 10 homes in the next 90 days. I'm going to touch them every day in their email, and I'm going to call them when I get to them, which means I'm going to start at A, get to Z, then I'm going to come back to A and do it again. Because by doing this, that sphere of influence, people that already know you, they're going to be the ones who are going to give you more business than anybody else. We're so quick to go to Google and Facebook and pay for ads to send us people that don't know us so we can convince them to do the biggest deal of their lives with us. But we're slow to talking to the people that we already know. So if you do this one task, I promise you, and I swear, I'll give you all the love in the world. You send me that screenshot on a DM, I will share it, I will tag you, and I will call you the biggest badass in Central Florida. Because the truth is that you do have to put in the work in order to make the money, right? We're so used to deals falling on our laps. You have to put in the work to make the money. If you do this, man, I promise you, I have like 4,000 contacts in my phone plus. Right? And why do we separate realtors, by the way? Referral business. Start from A to Z and talk to them. Because I got realtors in my phone that are all over the country, all over. Listen, I live in Miami. Driving to Broward County, Fort Lauderdale is like leaving the country. Right? I don't want to sell anything in Fort Lauderdale, okay? I have to take my passport, 95 gets shut down. It's insanity, right?
We all feel the same way about Miami.
Yeah, listen, I'll take it. And so, if you're in my area and the deal comes in Fort Lauderdale, chances are you're shooting a referral. So guess what? He just said it. We feel the same way about Miami. The realtor in Fort Lauderdale does not want to drive to my neighborhood. So I want him to remember me when they have somebody in South Florida. I want you guys to remember me in South Florida.
And in Gainesville, too, by the way. We got you.
For us, we hit our sphere in many different ways. We're, like I said, we're very community-based. Ashley and I and Rachel and my wife just sat down last week and created our 2023 plan of what we want to do for events, what kind of budget we wanted to put behind it. And, the number one thing you got to do is have fun with it. If you're not someone who wants to do happy hours, don't plan happy hours. If you don't want to create big events, don't do big events, because it is daunting to do. But, we've tried the pie giveaways. It was a pain in the ass. But some people have great success with it. I'm like, why are we failing with it, but others are having great success with it? Yeah, and then we did the pumpkin thing. So we pivoted in 2020 and 2021 trying to figure out how to get back in front of them. Because we've done fall festivals the last 4 years, and it got really big at the last one, and I was in a dunk tank. So every client was running up with a baseball trying to dunk me in the dunk tank. It was fun. But we had food trucks. We had the pumpkins there. Try going to Publix and buying 300 pumpkins and getting those to the thing the day before, and hopefully they're not rotted and all the other good stuff. It's a challenge doing these things. But if you're going to do it something that fits your personality. And we do the letter from the heart as well. It goes out once a month. We talk about the family, the real estate, and everything else that's going on with the market. We send out our home bots to our clients every month. One thing we did, and I don't remember the name of the place up here, but actually, what is it? Up the street where we did the cake thing? Wall crawl. Sorry, I rely on people for information because I get too much other stuff going on. But my wife and I we jumped out of a birthday cake, and then we had a 10-second clip of that. So our VA sends that to everybody on our Facebook list every day. So sorry if you guys got a video of us jumping out of a cake, that we're just trying to say happy birthday. But it gets so much attention from people, and they're like, love it. Oh my God, I needed that laugh today. But it's just a simple touch to them. I need to step up my game compared to what these guys are saying. I'm taking some notes to go do, get in front of our people more often, get in front of lunches and everything. Getting out more belly to belly. And it's, obviously we're out of COVID, we're out of all that stuff. So people want to see people again. They want to get back into events. And the stuff we're having is massively successful. But the other part with events, it's not about the people who show up. It's about how you invite them. And it's about getting in touch with them, inviting them. And if they don't show up, hey, we missed you at the event. Want to see you next time. Because it's about the conversation.
Just one small thing. Write this down. HappyGrasshopper.com.
Yep.
Such an amazing tool. HappyGrasshopper.com will automate the phone calls, emails, and text messages to your sphere of influence for you for the next year. You get to record the voicemail drops. So the phone doesn't even ring. They just get a voicemail. It says, voicemail from David Kurz. And he listens, hey, how are you? How's everything? Right? And so it's such a wonderful tool to use. So if you're not the person that's going to sit there and make the calls, automate it.
You can also
slide out.
You could also slide broadcast. That's another one. You can leave everyone a voicemail. In fact, that's a great idea. You'll probably get a voicemail from me this week. Maybe even for when we roll out January's program. All right. Anyone else have something you want to add before I go to one more question? Y'all want me to ask one more question, or y'all learned enough today? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get 3 takeaways from the audience first. Let's go around the room. Biggest takeaway. Who wants to share? What'd you get out of today's session? Someone's got to kick us off. Yep, right here, Carol Ann. Perfect. Separating what you love to do and what you hate to do and hiring someone to do the other stuff. Yep, right here. Love it. Bobby Lynn, you had something. Essay context. That was a nugget right there. Yeah. Bill?
Know your numbers, be content with what you want to do in your business.
Yeah. Love it. Let's get 2 more. Over here. Systems. That's a useful one. Yep. Right here. Last one.
To achieve the results that all of you on stage have done, it's not going to matter of quantity, it's going to matter of quality.
To achieve the results, they said it's been a matter of quality, not a matter of quantity for everyone on the stage, and I'll totally agree with that. Here's the last question I want to ask everyone here. And by the way, can we give a round of applause for Dave Stewart and his team with these Stewart Productions? They are the ones that make all this stuff happen. And trust me, when I say they are like firefighters while producing a live event, they have to fix problems that were not theirs literally every single session the whole time. So if you're watching this online, we're sorry, we promise they've been working on it, and you'll get a perfect recording, but these are all compliments to them. And if you need video production, live audio production, or you need a world-class saxophone player, this guy's toured the whole entire world, you should reach out to Dave Stewart. So, last question I wanted to ask you guys. As we prepare to shift into next year, what are the biggest things that you do to get ready for a new year, to business plan for a new year? What are the things that you focus on as a new year approaches? And have your what are the other things, sorry, let me rephrase this. What are the things you focus on, and what are the things you have your team focusing on to approach a new year?
For us, we've started planning 2 months ago for next year. We're continually adding to that plan where we want to find opportunities from, what we want to drip to our clients on, what value we want to provide to our clients. Like I said, we've already planned out 2023 for our sphere of influence contacts and how we want to get with parties or whatever it's going to be. So just, don't plan 2023 in 2023. You need to do it September, October. If you haven't already done it, get it done now. There's a ton of people offering business planning classes. If you don't have one, go to it. Get the plan done. And that's going to be, because you want to know how much you want to make, how many people you need to contact. As he said, it gets down to the numbers. I think you had at 600 was literally 11 contacts a week.
Yeah.
Who can't make 11 phone calls in one day? So take the rest of the week off for making phone calls at least. It's easy to do. So, and plan your days. I mean, that's the biggest thing is, as he said, 9 o'clock, get your lead generation done. 10 o'clock, get your follow-ups done, doing all that stuff. But if you can plan for next year now, you're going to be successful in the next year. And we've already done that. I mean, it's been great.
I think you're going to get everyone up here that's going to say 2 months ago we were already planning for next year. But don't let that discourage you. If you haven't planned, begin planning now. And it doesn't have to be 2023. It could just be the next 12 months of your life, right? Like a lot of people get freaked out. It's March, I'm too late, so I'm going to wait till 2024, right? Like, no. Just plan the next 12 months of your life, right? And your business. I like to work things backwards. I'm a whiteboard freak. And so I get on my whiteboard and I work things backwards. And what do I mean by that? I put the big goals and the big achievements that we want to hit for the year. And then I break down all the major things that are required for that goal. And then I break down every major goal into feasible steps, right? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? And so once I break it down to all these steps, I time block it. I am very, and I wasn't always, I'm extremely strict about my calendar. If it's not on there, it really doesn't exist for me. Like, I know that's a saying, if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist, right? For me, if you're not on my schedule, I'm sorry. That's it. And so we break it down into these minuscule, easy to do steps, just like we did the numbers, right? And then I place them somewhere on the calendar and repeat it every week, therefore on, and we just keep running that way. And so when we talk about the team, we teach the team to do the same thing, and we push them into what we are thinking, and we tell them about it, and we get our vision, mission, and we get our core values in front of them every single week.
Love it. Let's get Craig. No, Craig and Abby, you got time. I just want to make sure y'all know we definitely want to get this. What are you guys focused on? Biggest focuses to end the year?
Yeah, so I mean, he's spot on, right? So if you haven't heard the term 135 or GPS, right? 1 goal, 3 priorities, 5 strategies under each priority. Write that down. It's a good memory trick to help you kind of, get that out. We also do the EOS model with the, it's a business operating system that we do quarterly. We meet and we go over these things and plan every single quarter out. So a lot of planning and all those things. The key thing is that don't let it overwhelm you. Okay, take that time. I'm trying to focus. My biggest thing right now, my one thing is finding my 20%, because there's so many things that have to be done all the time, and you can get bogged down with doing all the things that have to be done but aren't in the highest and best use of your personal production. So identify your 20%. What is the 20% of my personal activities that will produce 80% of my results, and then laser beam on that, then 135 GPS that, and then time block for it so that you do those things consistently, and then you leverage out everything else.
So I want everyone in here to take 5 things from their budget, like I'm really big budget oriented, and eliminate them or hone in on them. Okay? I mean, that's one thing that we worked on a few months ago. tightening up going into this next year. Okay, personal, whatever. Don't need Starbucks every day, scale that, whatever it is. Pick 5 things, but then also, I mean, we've got some great worksheets that we go through. We sit down and we have a year-end December planning, but we're working on the worksheets going into it. But look at where you are, not just work, as all your segments of life, right? I mean, you have to be well balanced, and that's one thing that's really over the past few years changed for me, because I can get so into work focus that I really need to balance out that whole life. Balance doesn't mean equal in all segments though, right? So really focus on all the different segments of your life and work on that holistically, I think really helps make you a better person in the work field. That's at least just me reminding myself of the things that I need to work on, right? So I've got some awesome worksheets. I don't have time to describe them, so I won't go into that, but we've got some really great year-end planning. If any of y'all want them, send me an email. I'm happy to share the tools that I go through with my team. I know we need to wrap up the timing, so I'll end on that.
Perfect. Can we give a giant round of applause, a roaring round of applause for all our panelists? Thank you to Dave Super. Thank you to Harry Buffalo. We'll be sending out a text or something for those of you that want to be registered for a party. In fact, I'll give out a phone number. If you text this number and say party, the number is 407-505-5194. That's 407-505-5194. Just say party. It's not going to auto-respond. We'll respond later today. I didn't set that up. But later today, we'll get you the link to the event. One more time, can we give a giant round of applause for these panelists coming all the way up, down, over, or downtown? And that's it, guys. Thank you guys for coming out. Session number 50. Be ready for us rolling this thing out in January. We'll be at the Enzion Theater. And spend some money at the bar, tip the bartenders, grab some food. I'll see you guys later.
I didn't know.
Man, I should have went on Abby's side.
Get on Abby's side. Good to see you.
Hey.